Indian bazaars are unique and have a reputation of being more than a bazaar, a tourist attraction, a researcher's haven. They have a certain character which makes them an interesting subject for exploration. There are certain bazaars in India which go beyond having a character and a soul and are amazing in terms of idea and concept. One of them is Meena Bazaar at Red Fort, New Delhi. Embedded in its soul is a history, architecture and a culture, the story of which needs to be told.
Meena Bazaar is one of its kind, not only historically but also architecture-wise. In 17th century India, bazaars were normally held in open air. A covered bazaar was an innovation in India. Shah Jahan had heard about the covered bazaars of West Asia, and when he saw the one in Peshawar in 1646, he was greatly impressed as the design was suitable for the hot climate of Delhi. He instructed Mukarramat Khan, who was supervising the construction of Red Fort, to build a similar covered market here.
Way back in the 17th century, it was Shah Jahan, the fifth Mughal emperor, who first conceived the idea of Meena Bazaar. The historic Meena Bazaar is a covered market sprawling over a large area, and the entry is through the Lahori gate of Red Fort. Meena Bazaar at Red Fort, New Delhi actually takes the legacy of covered bazaars forward, which were introduced far away from India.
Before this one, there were some other experiments set in other places. For example, this kind of bazaar, in Syria it is known as Caesarea. But if you go to Turkey, there it is known as Bedestan. In Egypt, it is known as Khan, that is Khan-e-Khalil is there. And when it goes to some other places, I mean Persia, it is known as Charsu. So, but at the same time, this, I mean, in all these places, this was not covered. But for the first time, we have got a covered bazaar here, and that too a double storied, and it is known as Bazaar-e-Musaqqaf, that is a covered bazaar.
Meena Bazaar at Red Fort is an architectural masterpiece. It offers a perfect symmetry, blended with awe-inspiring design and functionality. The architecture and design of the market was a first of its kind in India.
This particular bazaar was completely different, because this was a double-storied bazaar and this was a covered bazaar also. So, if there is a covered bazaar, the rains, the sun, that will not be troubling them. So, Shah Jahan saw it for the first time. He saw it in Peshawar. He liked it immensely. So, as soon as he saw this one, I mean, he prepared a sketch of it, and then it was sent to Mukarramat Khan, because Mukarramat Khan was the in charge of the fortification of Delhi fort. So, it was sent to him, and it was said that a same kind of bazaar should be made for Delhi fort also.
Though the original name of this bazaar was Bazar-e-Musaqqaf or Chatta Bazaar, it came to be known as Meena Bazaar owing to the kind of patronage it attracted after it came into being.
This was known as Meena Bazaar also. Meena Bazaar means, it is for the use of the inmates of this one, and especially those people who are in the harem sara, mainly for the princes and other important persons. So, they were trading not in ordinary things, it was only in precious stones and silken clothes. And other markets also, for example, in Agra fort also and in Fatehpur Sikri also, it was mainly for the precious stones and silken clothes, because most of the important things that was coming from Central Asia, from West Asia and from all other countries, from European countries, that was displayed here, and the most important things were taken by this princess and the king also, and others were given to the local people. So, it was a kind of adjunct of the Chandni Chowk Bazaar also, but Chandni Chowk Bazaar came a little bit later than this one.
Lahori Gate entrance of the Red Fort leads into the shadows of this covered market or vaulted arcade. Shah Jahan was perhaps impelled by political reasons to position Chatta Bazaar at the principal ceremonial entrance to the fort as an appropriate place to exhibit the Mughal Empire's growing wealth, talent and capability. The thought behind the market was unique, and so was its creation. This covered market was very innovatively created as a two-storied arcade.
There were not only shops on the down below, and there were houses for the traders for staying in as their residences. So, this was the peculiarity of this one.
Shops in Chatta Bazaar are now located only in the lower arcade, whereas in Mughal times, the shops were located on the upper as well as lower arcades. These vaulted arcades are made up of natural sandstone supported on a series of broad arches designed at regular intervals. Their edges supported by stone, and the intermediary space, that is a vault, bears honeycomb motifs in stucco, which have been universally used in Islamic art, structurally as well as ornamentally. As it appears, the whole of the market, in the interior and on the exterior, was originally stuccoed, painted and gilded to give a mesmeric effect. The bazaar on each side contained 32 arched bays that served as shops, just as they do today. The lower cell consisted of 2 rooms. The front one was possibly used for the actual display, and the one at the back for storage, manufacture and business transactions. The upper cells were used differently by different people. Some used it as a residence, some as storage space, and some housed their artisans who would make handicrafts to be sold down below in the shop. In the middle of the Chatta Chowk, there is also an open section for the sunlight and fresh air to enter. This octagonal court in the middle is known as Chatar Manzil, which divides the market into two sections, eastern and western. The linearity of this market has formulated a strong longitudinal link and emphasized the straight axis with the Naubat Khana and Diwane arm. Earlier, the view of Naubat Khana from the end of the bazaar provided a clear picturesque view, unlike later when much was altered with the British occupation. They destroyed the elegance of the monument by building multi-storied barracks north of the bazaar.
The shops of that era sold pure silks, gems, jewelry, silverware and other artistic objects and catered primarily to Mughal courtiers and noblemen. It is also said that there were also tea shops where noblemen used to meet and discuss the latest court gossips and news of the kingdom. Times changed and so did Meena Bazaar. We'll have a closer look at modern day Meena Bazaar after a short break. Welcome back. Let's have a closer look at this magnificent marketplace.
Today, these shops sell a wide variety of handicrafts and souvenirs that attract buyers by the droves. Tourists visiting Red Fort stop on their way back and buy these exquisite works of art for their loved ones.
People come from all over the world. I show them Red Fort, America, Britain, Japan, and they all like it. Because this, in whole of the Delhi, when you go to Qutub Minar, Humayun Tomb, any monument, you will not find such a nice atmosphere, such a nice Meena Bazaar, in which you get from pin to so many nice things which the tourists like.
I'm now walking through the old bazaar of the Red Fort, and it's really impressive because it's you feel like getting into the fort as it used to be in the past.
It's my first time to India and I really like this market. It seems really sweet. People aren't pushy, they're just letting me take a look at things. It sells a really good variety of things and it just looks generally quite beautiful.
It looks like more as in the old time, you know. It feels like you can feel like the tradition, like somehow, or it seems to be like the market in the past. It doesn't seem to be like really new. It seems kind of old and authentic. So we enjoy it.
300 years ago, this bazaar catered to the luxury trade of the imperial household, specialized in exquisite carpets, rugs, traditional takya, namadas and quilts, fascinating shatouj and pashmina shawls and costumes, extrinsic velvet pardas and chicks, embroideries with zari and brocades, and a wide variety of silks, woolens, velvets and taffetas which the Mughals used in their daily life. precious stones, exotic jewelry, and indigenous ornaments. Gold and silver utensils, fine wood and ivory work, brass and copper ware, saffron, musk, and other spices, and innumerous other stuff which could not be found in the adjoining Chandni Chowk market. It was the privilege of the king that these rare and precious things were available only in the fort market for their exclusive purchase.
This bazaar was used in those times for the traders, those who come from different places, from abroad. They will bring their merchandise and they will display in this bazaar, and the royal family people come and they choose and select the things, and then these papers were made and it was paid. Then the traders go back, some new traders will come, they will also show their things. So this bazaar was completely for the royal family. At that time it was not an open market.
This market not only provided precious articles to the royal family, but also gave its prince a soulmate, a saga that's recorded in history.
This marketplace was not just a commercial setup. Few people know that one of the greatest love stories that paved way for the creation of Taj Mahal began from here.
This is perhaps amongst the most well-known love stories in the world. A story that refuses to fade away with time, and a story that gave the world one of its most beautiful monuments, the Taj Mahal. The story dates back to 1607, when a prince of the royal Mughal household strolled down the Meena Bazaar, accompanied by a string of fawning courtiers. He caught a glimpse of a girl hawking silk and glass beads. 5 years later, the prince and the lissom beauty were united in holy matrimony. It was a fairy tale union from the start, one that withstood court intrigues, battles for succession, and finally the grand coronation. And when she died in the 19th year of their marriage, he etched her beauty in stone. The Taj Mahal is a living symbol of the monumental passion of Shah Jahan and Arjumand Banu.
While you marvel at the romance between Shah Jahan and his beloved Mumtaz Mahal, we will take a break and resume our tour of Meena Bazaar when we return. Welcome back. Let's go back a little and try and get a feel of the erstwhile bustling life at Meena Bazaar.
In the past, this market was the favorite shopping place for the chosen few. Patronized only the royals during the Mughal era. After the Mughal period also, it remained an exclusive marketplace for the rich and the privileged.
When the British people came, then it was called a garrison bazaar. It was the bazaar for the military people, for their utility things, those who they were wanted to buy, they were sold here in this time. And some jewelers were also there, because the royal family people were there also. These are from British people, military generals and other people, they used to live here inside, and they used to buy their needs from this bazaar.
But things changed after independence.
After independence, this bazaar was changed totally, and general public was allowed to come inside, but with the ticket. They had to buy a ticket. It was a restricted market. It was not open for everybody. Only for the visitor this bazaar was. This was called then the tourist bazaar. So people from different countries and different people will come here and they will buy. Now this is the bazaar for the local people, those who local visitors, those who come, they buy their needs and gifts here.
Today, this marketplace is thronged by the common people of Delhi who want to get things at a reasonable price. It is one of the best places to buy traditional attires besides other garments and exquisite jewelry. Exquisite Kundan jewelry displayed in shops is a major pull for shoppers who jostle for space in this crowded bazaar. No matter at what time you visit this place, you will find it buzzing with visitors. The Chatta Bazaar still bustles with life, but with fewer jewelry shops and more outlets selling knickknacks and Indian handicrafts today. A few of them are managed by the biggest export houses in India. The prices here are quite reasonable and affordable. The Chatta Bazaar is in the process of revival to get its original glory back and undo the alterations done in the last 2 centuries. The colors, sights and sounds of Meena Bazaar are amazing. There is a simultaneous complexity and commonality embedded within the bazaar. Walking through the colorful shops of Meena Bazaar exposes one to an amazing variety of sights and sounds. The haggling tourists, the eager shopkeepers, the bustling crowd and the colorful stalls are what you see once you set foot in this famous landmark of Old Delhi.
This is the only covered market. Neither before nor after you have this kind of market in India. That is number one. Number two, it has got a cultural continuity. Right from the very beginning, it has got a cultural continuity. Right from the period of Shah Jahan, that cultural continuity that flows on. So both these ways, it is very unique. This has got a kind of nostalgia. This connects you with your past. So that way it has got its own aura.
It has survived the onslaught of modern day cultural influences and still remains a unique marketplace.
It will not be an overstatement to term Meena Bazaar as one of the legendary markets of history. It has not only maintained its architectural elegance but also upheld its true nature. It has survived the onslaught of modern day cultural influences and remains a unique market to this day.
ba 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 ga ga